The biggest thing that professional filmmakers do that videographers don't do is that they build a portfolio of work using passion projects to showcase the type of work that they want to attract into their business, rather than just going out and shooting work for their clients and then throwing it all in their portfolio. I sat there and I was contemplating it, and I was like, man, I really need to build this business and I need to get paying clients. $3,000 at the time was not anything to scoff at. Like that was a good price, but I knew that like for the type of video that I wanted to do, I was going to spend all of that. I said, yeah, I will do it. But I told him, look, you have got to give me creative control. Okay. Otherwise it's not worth it for me. Hey, what is up guys? Eric Thane here. Hope you guys are doing well and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about how to get your first big client as a videographer. In fact, I'm gonna tell my story about how I went from really struggling as a videographer. Believe it or not, when I was starting out, I struggled. I did not get high-paying clients. I was always having to bring my prices down. Things were a struggle for a long time. Maybe you can relate to that. And I went through that for a long time, for many years, before I got to the point where I actually started landing big clients. And so I will tell the story and like some of the things that I did and how I got to that point in this video. So when I was starting out as a videographer, I actually started out doing videos for free because I was doing them just for fun. So I had a YouTube channel. I was making music videos. I was really just doing it for fun with some friends, like hanging out, having fun. That was it. Until one time, a guy came along and said like, hey, Eric, I got this video that I need to have made. Can you shoot it for me? We can pay you for it. And I remember at first I was like, I could get paid for this? This is crazy. Like that would be amazing to be able to get paid for this. Like I was just doing it for fun. And so it was a dance party that was happening in the street. In the town that I lived in on Halloween, the guy was like, hey, we just need somebody to come and shoot footage of it and then edit it together and just make a cool promo video that we can use for next year to advertise the same event. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I went and I shot the video, I edited it together, added in some music, made it sound super cool. And I think I got paid like $200 for that video. And at the time, I was just like, that's amazing. Like $200 and I got paid to do what I love to do and be creative and just have fun with this. And I just thought it was super cool. Now, obviously, over the years and fast forward a few years later, I started to get a little bit more serious into videography and like building a business out of this. And, as you grow as a filmmaker, as you grow in your business, you start to want to get bigger cameras and bigger crews and, do bigger things with your shoots. And if your budgets are still really low, it makes it like hard to do what you want to do. It makes it hard for you to get that vision that you have in your head for the story you want to tell, the visual aspect of it. It just makes it hard to do that when you're strapped for budget. And so at some point as a filmmaker, and I think every videographer goes through this, you've got to figure out how to start landing those bigger clients so that you can continue your career as a filmmaker. So at some point, you've got to learn how to charge high prices for your work and get clients who are willing to pay those high prices in order to really like be the filmmaker that you want to be. And I was kind of in that. So fast forward a few years later, after this, I was at a point where I was kind of like, where I really started to take things seriously and I was really starting from scratch as a filmmaker. I decided that I was going to go all in on my business. I dabbled with a bunch of other things as well. I decided I was going to go all in on my business. I was going to build my own business as a filmmaker. I was going to grow it and I was going to get clients and I was going to make it happen. I was excited and, I bought a new camera. I bought a Canon C100 Mark II, which at the time was like, it was my first cinema camera. I was really excited about it. I thought, now that I have a cinema camera, I'll be able to make cinematic images, which of course, it doesn't have much to do with it, but I was excited about it. And I was, just kind of going to networking events, trying to meet people. I would go to these events. I would go present at events. I would talk to people. I'm an introvert. I don't know if any of you guys are introverts, but I'm an introvert. I don't like getting out and talking to people, but I would kind of just force myself to do it. I'd go to these events. I'd show up in the room and there would be like all these people there and they all just looked like they all had it together and I had no idea what I was doing. And I would be like, just kind of scared. And I'd just go and just try to start talking to people. And sometimes it went well, sometimes it didn't. And, maybe some of you guys have been there before with networking. And that was my strategy for a long time, is that was the only thing I knew how to do. And it hit a point, this was back in 2015. I was about to get married. Okay, so I was engaged to my now wife. I was about to get married. I was like a month or two away from getting married. I'm like struggling to even make ends meet. We're having to live off of my wife's income. I don't really know what's going on with my life. Like, am I going to be able to be successful at this? Am I going to be able to keep doing this? Am I going to have to go get a 9-to-5 job? Am I just going to keep, like, what am I going to do? You know? And we went through some like struggles. There were some hard times, as there are when you're an entrepreneur. Those of you that are entrepreneurs that are running businesses, you know that there are entrepreneurial battle scars, right? And so I definitely went through some of those. But I'm not really like the giving up type. I tend to be pretty motivated and ambitious, and like I have like dreams and goals and desires and things that I want to do, and you know I just want to be able to live a life doing what I love and to make money from it and be able to support myself and my family. And so I just went all in and tried to make it happen. So there was a period, you know, during that year when I was in discovery mode. I really started thinking about, well, what is it going to take for me to start getting like really high paying clients? Because everything I'm getting right now is just cheap. And whenever I try to charge a high price, if you guys ever tried to charge a high price and then the client's like, no, there's no way, we don't have the budget for that, that's not going to work. I mean, that's what would happen every single time. And yet I knew people that were charging high prices for videos. And if I'm being honest, I didn't think that their videos looked any better than mine. And in a lot of cases, I thought they looked worse. And yet they were charging more. And I couldn't figure out why for the longest time, until I ran into a friend of mine that I reconnected with, I hadn't seen in a long time, and he had actually been a producer on some really high-end commercial films. And so I reconnected with him, I started talking to him, and we started hanging out, and I started asking him some of those questions, like, why can't I charge high prices for my work? Like, what do I need to do in order to be more successful at this? And he said, the biggest thing that professional filmmakers do that videographers don't do is that they build a portfolio of work using passion projects to showcase the type of work that they want to attract into their business, rather than just going out and shooting work for their clients and then throwing it all in their portfolio. And what I realized from this conversation with him is that there's a big difference between videographers who are just starting out and trying to figure things out and people that are starting to get high-end work, and that is in their portfolio. Now, it's not the only thing, but your portfolio is what attracts clients to you, right? The type of clients that you want. And so what most videographers do is that they go out and they shoot videos for their clients. They're not very good clients. They're not paying very well. And so they're not able to make a really good project. And they just put together whatever they can. And then they take that video and they put it in their portfolio. And then when they put that portfolio out there, that portfolio now attracts more of the same type of client. And you end up in this long, vicious cycle where you end up getting the same low paying clients over and over and over again. And what happens is a lot of filmmakers tend to think that it's because there's too much competition in their area, or there's no clients in my area that are willing to pay high prices, or they're just not out there. And what I learned is that that's not actually true. The high paying clients are out there, you're just not attracting them to you. And so when I made this realization, I realized that what I needed to do is go out and create a portfolio of work that was cinematic, that was beautiful, that had all of the qualities of the type of work that I wanted to bring in, that I knew I could create for these clients, but I just wasn't getting those types of clients. And if I could create that type of portfolio and then use like proper sales and marketing tactics, I could get those out there and then start attracting that same level of clientele to me. And so I decided to start doing it. And a couple months later, I had this project come through that was for a friend of mine. And he wanted to shoot a music video. He was a violinist, amazing violinist. And he asked me to shoot this music video for him. And I went to him and, he said, hey, I've got like $600 I can give you for a music video. He didn't have a big budget or anything. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try this new strategy of creating this like cinematic look for my videos. And I'm going to try it with your music video. So I will do your video for $600, but you've got to listen to me. You've got to let me have creative control. You've got to let me do the project, right? I'm going to do this different. And so we put together this whole video idea. It was really cool. It was like a James Bond themed video. We shot it at a hotel in Park City, Utah called the Stein Eriksen Lodge. And the client, the friend of mine, he had actually booked the hotel. He'd called them and said, hey, do you have a place that we could shoot a music video? And they agreed and let us use it for free, which was super cool. And we went and shot this music video. But I did it different than anything I'd ever done before. See, usually I would just go and I would get on set and I would shoot the scenes, like especially for the music video. I'd just like, put the singer or the musician in a location, shoot some footage of them from different angles, edit it together, and then that was it, right? Well, in this project, we decided to craft a story. So we created a story. We thought up characters. We put together like different shots, and I did shot lists, and I did all these different ideas because I really wanted to create something that was really cinematic and movie-like. And so I put this video together. We shot it at the hotel. It was amazing. It was a really cool project. And when that project came out, people started noticing it. Okay, there was a really different vibe that I started getting from people as they were, I'd get comments on Facebook or on, on social media that were like, really praising the video. And that like always happens, right? You put your work out there and your mom comments and your best friends comment and they're like, this is amazing, you're great. And you're just like, yeah, thanks. But when it's real and really genuine, like you can feel a difference. And I felt that with that video. And I was like, okay, I think I'm onto something here. There's something different about this. How people are responding to this, how they're commenting about this video. And so that video was like the beginning of like this foray into shooting really cinematic work and like trying to do something different with my portfolio. Well, lo and behold, an amazing thing happened because on set, I wasn't just a videographer just running around with a camera like I normally would have been, just doing like a little small production. I actually had lights and we had people there and we were setting things up and we were shooting really cool shots and scenes and everything like that. Well, we were working with this hotel and one of their marketing people was at the shoot with us, just kind of like overseeing things and making sure that we didn't break anything. And they were so impressed with the production quality and everything that was going into it and the hard work and how we were creating this whole thing that the guy actually told me when we were done with the shoot, he said, Eric, I want to talk to you about shooting a video for us. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. Like, yeah, let's do it. And so I said, yeah, for sure. Let's meet up. Let's get lunch. I was like, this could be a really cool opportunity to get, a big client. And so I got excited about it. We met up for lunch. Probably the next week or something like that, and got together and he said, hey, we've got this idea for video. We want to do this, this, and this. I'm hearing what he's saying and I'm like, this could be like a really cool, like cinematic commercial. It's like perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And we start talking about it. It's amazing. And he goes, but here's the thing, we don't have a budget. And I'm just like, man, isn't it always like that? Like, that's just every time, they just never have a budget. And he said, look, we can give you a little bit of money. I was like, I can't do it for free. Like, I'm trying to build a business here. He says, we can give you a few $1,000s and we can offer you a stay at the hotel or something, a vacation package or something for me and my wife. And I sat there and I was contemplating it. And I was like, man, I really need to build this business and I need to get paying clients and not spend time doing like cheaper projects. Even though like $3,000 at the time was not anything to scoff at. Like that was a good price, but I knew that like for the type of video that I wanted to do, I was going to spend all of that in order to make it happen. And I decided at that moment, I looked at the opportunity and I said, look, this is an opportunity for me to really go all out, really showcase the type of work that I want to do and create a piece of work in my portfolio that is going to attract finally the right type of clients in my business. And I told him yes. I said, yeah, I will do it. I accepted their terms. I said, let's do it. We're gonna make it happen. But I told him, look, I'm gonna take this as a passion project. I am going to go all in on this and make it the best thing I possibly can because I want it in my portfolio. You have got to give me creative control. Okay, otherwise it's not worth it for me. And so I decided to take on this project. A few weeks went by. We went through the entire process. I spent every single dime of that $3,000, if not more, on getting a producer to come and help me out, my friend, just getting a couple other people on set to help me out. I went and rented a Red camera, which I'd only used. Actually, that was the first time I'd ever used it. And so I wanted to, use a good camera. I got the lights that I needed. I rented the gear that I needed, put all that money towards it so I could make the best thing that I had ever made in my entire portfolio. And when I released that video, it showed. Not only did the client come back and say, wow, this is amazing, this is incredible, it's better than anything that we even expected it to be. They were just so amazed and so happy with it. But like, I posted it on social media and it was the same thing as what I'd gotten from the music video, only on another level. Like people were posting it, they were texting me, they were sharing it in groups, they were putting it all over the place. Like people were resharing it. Like how often does that happen, that people are like resharing your video? And that was happening and people were so excited about it. And the company, the hotel, ended up posting on their Facebook page and the comments on it were just amazing. And all these things started happening. All this momentum started happening. And it was really cool. And so I took that video, I put it in my portfolio. Even though I didn't have like a full portfolio of that type of work, at least I had one video to showcase. And I started going to town with that video. I started meeting with marketing companies. I started pushing like every relationship that I had made through networking, all the people that I knew. I started sending it out to people. I started reaching out to people. I knew that the reaction that people had to that video was better than most of my work. And so I figured if I can get this out there, I can start attracting those clients. And I started putting it out there, started putting it in front of people. I started getting the exact same reaction. And what do you know? I started getting work. And this wasn't just any type of work, but I started like creating, I started putting bids out there that were higher. I started charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per video. And I was getting them. That was the crazy part. Just from being able to showcase to potential clients the value of what they were going to get, the quality of work that they were going to get, that my portfolio was attracting the right people, changed everything. And not only did I start getting other clients that were coming in and charging tens of thousands of dollars for these projects, but the hotel that I had originally done the project for came back and ended up hiring me over the next couple of years, or 2 or 3 years, ended up hiring me for 4 or 5, maybe even 6 more videos at full price. And these are like $15,000 to $20,000 projects that came in just from that one client. And so that was the story of how I got my first big client that kind of catapulted me into my career as a filmmaker. Now, there's a lot of ways that this can happen for a lot of different people, but some of the main takeaways are your work that you create is going to attract a certain level of clientele. So if what's in your portfolio is work that is attracting low-paying clients, you're only going to get these low-paying clients. And so what it requires is that one of the first steps for filmmakers, if you want to start growing your business, is to start proactively going out and creating the type of work that you want to creating the type of work that you want to attract, building a sales message, building a portfolio that is appealing to those high-level clients that you want. Because if the work that you're doing right now is just for little local clients and they're cheap projects that you don't have enough budget to really create your vision, then like that's all you're ever going to attract. So one of the most important things for filmmakers, especially who are starting out, to do is to go out and create those passion projects, create that work, make it happen in order to be able to build that business. From my standpoint, after doing this, I was able to grow my business literally in the next year up to over 6 figures a year in video projects, which was just absolutely incredible to me. And then we've been able to grow even more since then. So anyway, if you're a filmmaker who is starting out, maybe you're getting, you're charging $1,000 or less per video, and you're really wanting to get to that point where you're charging like $1,000 or $5,000 or maybe $10,000 per video. This is the main strategy that I would recommend focusing on. And if you're interested in learning more about how to do this exactly, this is something that I actually teach. Believe it or not, I have an online course that teaches this exact strategy, how to create cinematic looking videos, how to create passion projects that are going to attract the right type of clients, how to build your portfolio, and start building your business as a filmmaker. So if that's something you want to learn, if you want to get better at that, start growing your business as a filmmaker, I've got a free training that I'll link down below. It's an hour long. It's 100% free. All you got to do is put your email address in. I'll take your email address and I will send you out new videos and tips and valuable content to your email address just for signing up. So I appreciate it. But I'll give you that free hour-long training where you can watch and I'll walk through the entire process of exactly how I do it and the steps that I take in order to grow my business as a filmmaker that you can replicate to get the exact same results. So if that was helpful, go ahead and check out the free training down below. Hopefully this video was helpful and helped you glean some new ideas on how to grow your business as a filmmaker and how to create cinematic films. I will see you on the next video. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer them as well. We'll see you around. Bye-bye.